Josh Green here for Tungsten Tales. Delighted to be joined by Katie Sheldon. It's been a long time since I've seen you, Katie, but progressing really well, and now in the women's world match play. I'm sure life is good at the moment.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Josh. Absolutely delighted really to have qualified for a match play, so everything's going well.
And for you, I mean, it's been a real step up going to the women's circuit and competing with some of the top names in the women's game, but you seem to have really taken to it, and it's not flustered you at all, and you seem to be competing right at the top end.
Yeah, I think at the start when I played the first few women's series just after COVID, if you look at my averages in some of my games, like it wasn't anywhere near as well as I could play, and I kind of put that down to maybe not have played too much in COVID or whatever. But now that we're kind of back in the full swing of things, putting it up to some of the best names, really.
It really is the best names as well. I think looking at over the weekend's results, Lisa Ashton really had it out for you, didn't she? I think there was two 5-4 losses to Lisa in there, but despite not coming out on the right end, there's not any better player to lose to.
No, absolutely not. Not at the women's series anyways. Every game you have to take as if you're playing Lisa or Fallon, you know, that type of way. Like all of the ladies over there, they're not there just to kind of make up numbers. They're there for the same reason as you. So you have to take every game seriously.
How have you found it playing the players that I'm sure for many years you would have looked at on TV and gone, I want to be in their position, whether it's Lisa or Fallon, or even the likes of Dita Hedman and Trina Gulliver? What's it been like playing those sort of players?
I think honestly at the start I was kind of a bit like, oh, I'm playing Lisa or whatever. Like hopefully I get a leg or two or whatever. But now you have to take it as just another game. Unfortunately, you want to win, and I know I have the game in there somewhere to beat Lisa one of these weeks. But I love it. I think to compete with the best, you have to play with them and deal with their high scoring and all sorts. So, yeah.
Yeah, the game is certainly there. We saw a 95 average in I think it was the second tournament on the Sunday against Donna Gleed.
Yeah.
Is that one of the best games we've seen you play? 95 average?
On the women's series, anyways, I think I had a 93 on one of the development tours as well. But it's just about consistency, really. I know it's there, so it's just about when it wants to come out, I guess.
As it's the first time we've had you on the channel, I thought we'd have a little bit of a chat about your darts story of such. The first time I came across you was, I think we were saying 2018 at the JDC World Championships and the JDC World Cup down in Bristol. But I'm sure the story started a long time before that. So can you just tell us how you got into darts for a start?
Yeah, so I started playing darts in the house when I was 9. I got a darts board in the house, and I just kept practicing non-stop, really. And then it was Robin Byrne, another girl from Ireland who you know, she told me to come to one of the Irish rankings and just see how I got on. And I went there, and my first one, I got to a quarter final in. And at this stage, it was, you know, boys and girls were all in the one. So that was massive for me at the time. And I just kept progressing from there. And then I made the Irish team. And we went away for the Europe Cups, and then obviously for the JDC World Cups.
It's been a generation that's produced some really good players. Obviously, you were on the same team as Keane Barry, who we now see on the Pro Tour. Killian Heffernan, who's reached a BDO youth final. And Robin Byrne as well, obviously, she's competing. She was maybe a little unlucky not to make the match play. It's a really talented generation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing the darts that are coming out of Ireland anyways, and to be around that's pushing your darts as well. Like when we were playing youth with Keane and Killian, you were playing with them every single week nearly. Now they probably hammer you some of the times, but I think that's what brought on my game, definitely. You know, when you're playing with the best, and like Robin, playing against Robin nearly every week, like it spurs your game on as well. So it's brilliant, the stuff that's come out of Ireland.
Yeah. How much has that competition helped your game then, playing against these players? You say maybe some weeks you might get hammered, but be able to have the opportunity to play against these top class players from such a young age?
Yeah, I think playing against people like Keane, like from a young age, really spurred me on, because even his standard back then was amazing, and now he's on a pro tour. Has a tour card, like. So I think practicing with him, first of all, you might lose 4-0, then it's 4-1, then it's 4-2, and before you know it, you might nick a game on him. So I think it's all about progression, really.
What's it been like for you watching Keane sort of progress? I'm sure he wasn't as good as he is now when you first met him, but now he's in a position where he's reached the latter stage of the UK Open. He's a real threat on those pro tours, and I think people are really looking at Keane as one of the next top players to come out of Ireland and really push the elite.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted for Keane. He's a really good lad, and he's a good friend. I know his ability, and I'm sure nearly everyone knows his ability, and he's definitely one of the top players. So he got to a UK Open semi-final. So you don't just get that by luck, he's put in so much hard work that probably people wouldn't see. So I couldn't be happier for him.
And just going back to the story of how you got into stars, talking about that traveling into the Europe Cup with Ireland, and obviously down to Bristol, and I don't know if you were in Gibraltar. I don't know if you just missed out on that one or not. Just having that experience, not even from a dart standpoint, that you get to travel and you get to experience these different places. How important has that been going into these women's series and things like that?
Yeah, well, I absolutely love the travel aspect, bar the airport, because sometimes obviously flights get delayed and all sorts. But traveling's good, especially when you're with a team. You can kind of relax the first day or so, and then you have a team around you to kind of get you focused. And then when you're going into the women's series, obviously it's singles and there's no team, but you kind of still have that mind frame of, I need to focus here.
Well, I suppose the people at Dublin Airport pretty used to you turning up every Thursday or Friday now.
Yeah, Robin Byrne actually says I must start paying rent here because we're here that often. So
I'm just looking ahead to Blackpool, of course. Is it a venue that you've been to before? Will it be the first time at the Winter Gardens?
This will be the first time ever for me, but like such an iconic venue. I'm just absolutely buzzing to get there.
It's obviously a venue that the greats of the game have played at, whether it be Phil Taylor, the champion, the absolute legend of the Winter Gardens. So many players that I could pick out. To be able to be on that stage and play where these players have played must be incredible.
Yeah, it's a dream come true, really. It's what every Darts player wants. And to go in at the start of the week, not in the top 8, and to come out in the top 8 after the weekend, I'm just so proud of myself, really, and I cannot wait to get up on that stage. Yeah,
you've had a few opportunities on TV stages before. I think it was the World Masters at the Circus Tavern a few years ago, obviously on the stream boards as well. You've played plenty before. What's it going to be like, do you think, being live on Sky, live on the Winter Garden stage? Is there pressure that comes with that?
I think it's going to be a lot different than playing on a little stream in Barnsley. But look, you have to take it all in. That's kind of the joys of qualifying. You just have to get up there, see what happens. Hopefully, won't be under too much pressure. But what happens will happen, and hopefully, I can control it all.
100%. Well, just looking ahead, what are the aims for yourself over the next 6 months or so? Where we'll be seeing Katie Sheldon? Where will you be looking to be?
Well, I have development tours and women's series. Obviously there's the WDF World Cup or Europe Cup, which I'll be playing in with Ireland. So I'll still be around.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for your time, Katie. Really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you in a few weeks in Blackpool.
Thanks very much, Josh.